Okay, so we're going to cover paragraphs 19 and 20 briefly, and we're going to combine them. So here's the deal. 19 is just the addenda that are attached. So you want to take a look at, if you'll notice, we are going to have classes, and do have classes, on all of these individual, what they're called riders to the contract. There is, these are addenda, most people think of them as addenda, and they're special circumstances. They're going to come along with this contract. Now, if you're including that, like in this case, I just checked, we got paragraph B, homeowners association. There's an addenda or a rider that goes along with the contract that talks about homeowners association. If the property is in a condominium, it covers that. We're going to go over all of these, but anything that you're including with the contract, all right, needs to be listed here because it makes it part of the contract, all right? Now, addenda will be added as needed, and it will be covered in the training as well. I kind of have that note, all right? Then in paragraph 20 is where we write additional terms. A lot of times here is where you're going to see that the seller shall contribute 3% of the closing cost toward the buyer's, 3% of the purchase price, let me correct that, toward the buyer's closing costs. That was clear. I had my mind on that because remember, if you're going to use that, the verbiage is seller shall contribute 3% of the purchase price toward the buyer's closing costs. Because I've seen people say 3% of the closing costs. Well, that just means if the closing costs were $5,000, 3% is only $150. All right. So what they meant to say was 3% of the $200,000 purchase price, which is in this case 3% is $6,000. It's a significant difference. We've had agents make that mistake. So if you're looking for a seller to contribute toward the buyer's closing costs, a lot of times it's a percentage of the sales price, but you need to be very specific in noting that. Anyway, in here, additional terms. I didn't put this one here, buyer's inspection period for determining acceptability of municipal liens as well as open permit should be 20 days. That's extending that. Sometimes we need extra time if we're going to try and get that done, because normally, if not, it's going to default to where those municipal liens and the permit search has to be done within the inspection period. And a lot of times that's too short and may not be long enough to get that done. So be very careful of placing things in paragraph 20. We are not attorneys. We don't want to be accused of practicing law without a license. And many of the items you need to get addressed can be addressed in A through double B up here, okay? So, and those should be covered in separate classes on each one of them, but just so you know that those are already prepared, all right, to cover things like the lead-based paint, to cover FHA and VA financing, to cover homeowners flood insurance, to cover an appraisal contingency. All those things are already built in there, so don't try and create your own when one already exists. But if you do include it, make sure you mark the box so it's there. That's what these two paragraphs are for. Again, be very careful, all right, in putting things in paragraph 20. You are not wanting to rewrite a contract, okay? If it can be used, if it can be accomplished by using one of these, I highly recommend you do so. All right, thanks. Hope you guys have a great day.